Good morning, and to all the sports fans, I just want to say we appreciate you here at Level Up Sports 10, WTP Sports Dudes, as well as City League. This is one of the biggest Saturdays. Thank you all for coming out, joining us this morning on this college game day as we dibble and dabble into our college playoff outlook as we are headed in to week 12. And, a lot of big games coming up as we continue throughout this season. We see City League and its Buckeye gear rocked and ready. Good to have you this morning, City League TV. How's it going today?
Thank you. Hey, it's a beautiful day today, man. It's a beautiful day, beautiful morning, chilly, windy, football season.
Sound like that good football weather in Columbus. And our other main man, WTP Sports Dudes, he is in the building, and he is down there with his hook'em horns, seeing him in a big game today. How's it feel? Good to have you this morning, WTP Sports Dudes. How was your travel?
It was pretty cool. It wasn't bad. I'm glad I'm here. Ready for this action this morning.
Yes, indeed, man. Once again, man, appreciate you guys for joining this morning. And this has been a great college football season and this playoff. As we continue to march through week by week, it gets interesting every week. And the first game that we're going to take a look at out of this playoff picture and a matchup, I think that everybody would love to see, of course, that number 5 spot being one of the dangerous spots that we all talk about. And we have that first game being BYU, at the Ohio State University. What's your thoughts on this one, WTP Sports Dudes?
Man, I feel you. We've had Boise State at number 12 for so long, man. Now, they're in a different position because they're balling out, and the teams in the Big 12 are falling off. Man, I really believe that BYU is going to get thumped when they come to Columbus, Ohio, to play in this game. There's no way.
Time out, bro. What do you mean come to Columbus, Ohio?
Yeah, this
come
game.
To Columbus, Ohio for what? To visit? To go to Polaris or something?
No, if this game was to take place right today, BYU would have to come and play in the shoe against those Buckeyes, and they would get thumped hardcore, guys. You know what I'm saying? Ohio State would beat the snot out of them, man, and move on to the next round.
I agree.
Morning, Robin.
I definitely agree. And we seen Miss Robin Williams come in, and she said, "Good morning, gentlemen. Go Longhorns. Good morning to you as well, Miss Williams. We appreciate you tuning in. And everyone that tunes in, just let us know you here. Just drop a comment, and we'll definitely see that comment, and we'll shout you out and give you that recognition. And we appreciate you once again, Miss Williams, for joining in. And getting to this BYU Ohio State game, I just don't think BYU have enough. I think Ohio State, they'll welcome them in, roll the red carpet out, but they'll roll that red carpet up as that first quarter, the second quarter, and it pile up into that fourth quarter. And I got the Buckeyes not only in a blowout, but a mauling against BYU.
I like that. I ain't got nothing to say after that. I don't have any thoughts after that. That was just absolutely beautiful.
Nothing to say on your Bucks and the playoffs. City
It's a mauling. Like you just said, it's a mauling, bro. It's a mauling. It's up here in Columbus, Ohio. It's cold. It's windy. Hey, beautiful.
I love it. The next game that we have up is the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. And the Notre Dame Fighting Irish are coming in at number 8 this week. What's your thoughts on the Alabama Crimson Tide against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish?
I think Bama handed to them. Where they playing at? They in Bama? No, they up north.
They'll be playing this one in South
Bend.
Bend.
They're up north in the end of South Bend. Yeah. Oh, man. It depend on what the weather like. If it's some of that Midwest, good 59 degrees, wintertime weather, Bama could do something. But if it's nice and cold, maybe a couple little snow flurries, because them down south boys, some of them never seen snow. So they really, really don't know how I feel when it's cold and that coldness hits you.
What's your thoughts,
Yeah.
WT Sports Dudes?
I agree with that too, man. It depends on the weather. But I think regardless of what the weather might be, Alabama got the great equalizer in Jalen Milroe. Because at that point, you got to run the football. If you got snow flurries, swirling winds. And listen, weather get bad up there in Notre Dame, man, in South Bend. I got family that lives up there. I've been to visit them in the wintertime. Man, listen, that weather is brutal. It's brutal. But I think Jalen Milroe's legs is the difference in this game. And if it's weather that, that's in Notre Dame's favor, Jalen Milroe can equalize it with them legs.
I totally agree with you on that one. Even though the weather could get hectic, I think just having Milroe as that difference maker for Bama is the difference maker. I mean, you can't have it any better than that. Being in those kind of conditions, but having a quarterback that knows how to move and the ability to run in this type of weather. And Alabama is a scary team. We seen them, we thought they wasn't going to be in at some point, but they slowly keep winning and they creeping in. And I think Alabama gets this one with those legs of Milroe, and that's just a big difference maker in this game as well. I just don't think Notre Dame will have enough on the offense. They have a great defense, but I just don't think they will have enough on the offensive end.
Hey, Robin said he gonna need some leg warmers.
Oh yeah. Said right.
That's
He
a
gonna
good one,
need some
Robin.
leg warmers in this one for sure. I
That's
like
a
that.
good one.
So our next one, I believe we got Bama advancing in that one. The next one we have up, those Georgia Bulldogs versus the Penn State Nittany Lions, and Georgia will be traveling to where they have and host a whiteout all day long at Nittany Lion University. So what's your thoughts on this one, City League? Knowing you're a Big Ten guy, playing at Penn State, what's your thoughts on this one, having Georgia come in?
Hey, I hope it's a night game. I hope it's a 7:30, 8 o'clock kickoff with a whiteout in a cold with a little bit of snow. You know what I mean? Oh man, I would love it, and I would pick Penn State. I would pick Penn State, and actually, I would if Georgia had to come up here. I'm picking Penn State regardless of what it is. I know it's at least going to be a little chilly, and like I say, I just hope it's a night game. I hope it's a night game where they can be that crowd can be all the way revved up, and it's just hard to play. And I just think too, even if it ain't a night game, and I think they still gonna do their whiteout, and I think that crowd is still gonna come with it and make it hard for Georgia's offense to hear anything.
I agree with you.
Give me Penn State, and what we're gonna call an upset because I'm sure Georgia will still be favored.
Yeah, you're right. I agree with you on that. They will be favored. What's your thoughts, WTP Sports Dudes?
Well, we all know that the weather is going to be Penn State's greatest friend, and it's going to be what's going to allow them to at least be in the game in the beginning. But I think ETN running the football for Georgia and Georgia's defense going up against Penn State's lackluster offense will be the difference in that game. And these are the games we really want to see. We want to see conference against conference. We don't want to see teams from the same conference playing each other. That don't make any sense. We want to see a conference playing against another conference to really prove who's the best in this college football game. But I got Georgia winning this game by a narrow margin simply because I believe the weather will definitely help Penn State. But I think the running game with ETN will be the difference in this game.
I agree with you. I like Penn State's defense. you know how I speak about them about having an offense, and I think we all can agree that this Georgia team is a scary team because 1 week you get a different flavor, but we know when you put them in this playoff picture, they're going to do whatever it takes. They're going to give it their all. They're going to come out on this field, and I feel like in this game, they come out and they're playing a better defense with a whiteout, even if it's at night. You talking about a Georgia team, I think they're playing for everything. They're playing for their coach. They're putting everything on the line. And I think they are definitely a scary team, even at this 11 seed into this playoff, and they could advance a couple rounds. So I have these Bulldogs rolling over Penn State, getting after the quarterback. And like you said, ETN definitely makes a difference. And we don't believe in Beck, but that run game, if he stay consistent and just getting that ball to ETN, handed it off, Georgia definitely could come out on top. Nothing against the Big Ten, but this is one of them SEC Big Ten matchups we talked about a few weeks ago, SEC Big Ten, but I got the SEC prevailing in this one, and I'm going to take Georgia.
It's something against the Big Ten if you got the home team losing. You got something against the Big Ten if you got the home team losing, baby.
I just don't trust that offense Penn State got against Georgia's. If you asking me, I just don't trust that offense. The defense, they flat out play ball. Don't get me wrong. But when it comes to a team as Georgia, I think Georgia, man, they putting on them boots, steel toe, hard hats, you name it, and they coming, and they going to give it they all in this game. That's the type of game I think they would want as well.
Hey, don't slip on them running backs that Penn State has, though. Penn State has some really good running backs back there that really ain't getting a lot of pub right now, but they got some really good running backs back there.
Oh yeah, I like them. I do like them. As they grow, I think that'll be the difference maker for Penn State in the next couple of years. They grow together, they stay together. Don't let the portal be a factor. I see something definitely building there in Penn State as well. Our next game we have up. Another banger, another SEC Big Ten matchup. Man, we got Ole Miss coming in at number 10 this week against the Indiana Hoosiers. What's your thoughts on this one, City League? I know you're a Big Ten man. I know you got Indiana coming in town today. You guys are hosting them. What's your thoughts on this one? And it's an SEC foe against the Big Ten in this game. What you
same think? Same as last. Same as the last one. Them Ole Miss boys coming up north, and I really would feel very confident with Indiana against Ole Miss. I will feel very confident with Ole Miss going down up in Hoosier land. Yeah,
I like it.
And a nice victory too. A nice victory, not a narrow victory, a very convincing victory. Against one of these SEC teams. Yeah, I love Indiana in this one.
I like that thought. I like it. What's your thoughts on this one, WTP Sports Dudes, fellow SEC?
Man, you know who don't get cold in cold weather? Them big boys. Offensive linemen and defensive linemen. They do not get cold, bro. They're going to be out there with no sleeves on. And I'm telling you now, Ole Miss's defensive line is going to eat all day, much like you're going to see Ohio State's defensive line eat all day today. Their defensive line is the difference in this game against Indiana, and I'm taking Ole Miss because I can't see Indiana putting up more than maybe 10, 14 points in this game against that Ole Miss defense.
Ooh. Man, they leave it up to Level Up Sports 10 to break the tie, man. And this SEC Big Ten it's just great matchups. I like this one. When I seen it, it was kind of one of the tough ones. And this one, I'm going Indy. The reason I'm going Indiana, I really haven't been too sold on Ole Miss this season. I really haven't been too sold. They're a good team. I like the defense. Don't get me wrong with that defensive line as well. But I think with Indy being at home and having a playoff game, which if you think of big games in Indiana at this point in the season, it might be only their season game when they've played Ohio State or Michigan at this point. I think Indy comes out on top with that home field advantage, flustering Jackson Dart a little bit. And I don't know. I think they just got something in their bag. They really haven't let so much out this season. So that's another reason I'm taking Indy. And they just consistent. They lost a quarterback. They stayed consistent, won some big games with their quarterback out. So that's another reason I'm going with Indy. I'm sorry, Miss Robin Williams. I know you may be SEC, but I'm going with the Big Ten on this one. Don't be mad at me, but I'm taking Indy. I'm not the biggest believer of Ole Miss. So with that one, that'll have us having Indy advancing into the next round. And this is where it's going to get good because we got some great matchups as we go into the next round. And the first matchup we're going to have is one I think a lot of people would love to see. I'm sure City League TV would love to see this matchup as well. We have Ohio State versus Boise State Broncos. What is
Easy work. Not the struggle that Oregon had. Cause we shutting Ashanti out. We shutting him out. We ain't having none of that. We ain't having none of that. He ain't getting 100. We ain't having none of that. And you shut the running game down, everything else just come down with it. So hey, that's easy work. Going into the semifinals, getting to the semifinals. That's easy work. I would love for this to set up like this, but you know, we are going to win the Big Ten championship, so we will not have a first round home game. So, but I'm cool with this as of right now, little thing right here.
What's your thoughts on this one, WTP Sports Dudes?
Man, once again, the 5th seed has the easiest track to the semifinals, man. And if my team don't win the conference championship, which they are, I want them to get that 5th seed, man, because that's the easiest track to get to the semifinals, man. I mean, just imagine if you're Ohio State and you got BYU coming to your crib, you busting them up. And then you get Boise State after that. The team, the only thing they can do really is run. Now, Mad Max is nice, but he ain't nice against no Buckeyes. Not that defense.
I agree.
That's a cakewalk to the semifinals, man, to eventually play the number 1 team in the country. It would be a cakewalk. And I got the Buckeyes busting up Boise State. Genty might get 35 yards in this game because they're
he gonna break a little small one for about 30, 35, but that's gonna be about it. He still ain't getting over 100. But he gonna flip around and break one early. You know, he'll break a little one early, about 20, 25, 30 yards. Yeah. Because he is good.
He is good. He gonna break one for 7 yards. That's about it.
I like that. I like that in you.
Miss Robin chimed in with the comments. We appreciate you commenting and checking us out and watching this morning as well, Miss Williams. She said, yes, sir, as we always be saying. So we see Miss Robin is definitely a Big Ten fan. And me, myself, and this one, and the Buckeyes, man, I agree, man. They are going to put something on Boise State so special. And I just think we always talk, like you said, about that 5 seed, man. And I've been seeing them on the shows talk about that 5 seed being a dangerous seed. Genty, I give you 75 yards. So Ohio State might put 10 in the box and then just run around on one receiver. I just don't think they'll let Genty get anything off, even one big run. And like you said, 7 yards being the biggest run that he possibly get. I just don't think Ohio State will give up anything. I think they'll be battle tested enough at this point through the season and just ready to put everything out on the line. So,
and that's a great.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
That's a great point there too, bro. Because they're definitely putting 8 in the box.
Yeah.
You getting 8 in the box. Them corners are locked up man to man. You know, I don't think the coaching staff believe that Boise State's wide receivers can beat our corners man
Yeah.
up. So yeah, definitely 8 in the box to stop the run to, you know, blow these boys out.
And I think, you know, he would bring Caleb Downs even to put that 9th man there and let him kind of play that safety position to whatever he want. You know, the 2 corners y'all got, they have been playing, you know, some decent football these last couple of weeks. And I've noticed he's starting to go with that corner. He's letting y'all man up a lot and giving Downs that versatility in the secondary. So that's something to watch as well, especially in today's game against Indiana.
Let me say something real quick.
Yes, sir.
Something real quick. I think this is why the committee really wants Colorado to get in there, man. Because if Colorado gets in as a 4 seed, then that makes this matchup a lot better for the 5th seed, whoever gets that 5th seed. If you got to have BYU or Boise State in that 4th position, that's a cakewalk, man. And I don't think the committee wants that. They want to have a Colorado team in that position at number 4 because it's a much better contest. And I think we all agree that we would rather see Colorado there than a BYU or Boise State.
Time out. You saying you want Colorado to come up and play in the shoe?
No. What I'm saying is I want Colorado to get that 4th spot as opposed to a Boise State or BYU. Now, Ohio State might not be in that 5th slot. I want Colorado to be in that 4th slot because it's a much better game if they play the 5th ranked team than Boise State or BYU being in that 4th spot.
Right. Yeah, I only want to see Colorado in the national championship game. That's the only time I want to see them as a Buckeye. I don't want to see them in none of the rounds. Not saying that I'm fearful of them because I definitely feel like we'll beat them. I feel like our offensive and defensive lines will, you know, just overpower Colorado's. And that will be the difference in the game and what would make it so easy for us. Shedeur be running for his life. But I would only like to see them in the national championship game. I would like to see them beat, you know, quite a few teams in this playoff if they were to make it to the playoffs, which I believe they will. I have confidence that they will win these last 2 games and make it to the Big 12 championship.
Oh, yeah, I agree. Our next one we have, I think we all could contest to this. Oh, another SEC Big Ten banger. It's crazy because I know we did our little prediction a few weeks ago, and right now I think I actually got the Big Ten maybe 2-1 in matchups right now. We got Bama against the number 1 Oregon Ducks. What's your thoughts on this one?
I'll go first.
Go ahead.
Man, this one is kind of tricky because you really gonna need in this game. You're gonna need Jalen Milroe to be able to make some throws down the field to keep Oregon honest playing their defense. And if he can do that, Alabama can definitely win that game because, like I said earlier, his legs, man, makes the difference in every football game that they're in. If he can make some completions down the field against those Oregon defensive backs who are playing really, really good football, then I can definitely see Alabama beating Oregon. But Alabama's offense isn't that good. So if I was a betting man, I would have to take Oregon in this game. Even though I don't want to, I would probably take Oregon in this game.
Well, I want to, and I'm taking Oregon, and for the same reasons you talked about Melrose, their quarterback can throw it and use his legs as well. So, you know, I like the way that Oregon is playing. You know, they're gonna well, we're talking about today, so we're just going off of today. So I like the way that they're playing, and I feel like they will be motivated to beat Alabama with the history that they've had and, like, you know, the BCS bowls and all of that in the college football playoffs. But I'm taking Oregon.
I agree with you. We see Miss Williams said I will. I was going to have to disagree with you, Mr. Sports Dudes. I was going to go with the Ducks. So she's a Big Ten fan, and I believe that's a Buckeye, I'm going to say. I just see in the comments, I'm going to say Miss Williams is a Buckeye fan. For me, I'm taking Oregon in this
Well,
one. Oh, she's Texas. Hook 'em horns.
Yeah, I'm about to say. I thought
SEC.
she hooked them with
So that's the
Rob.
SEC. Yep. I thought she was just cheering his horns on, but she is a Texas Longhorn fan. I'm sorry about that, Miss Williams. Don't want to make you mad with that because I know the Big Ten, SEC, that battle itself. But for this one, I'm going with the Big Ten. I'm gonna take the Ducks in this one. I think this game is definitely going to be one to watch. I think this could be a great game, similar to when years ago Oregon was in a playoff when they played Ohio State and Florida State, Michigan played. That was probably one of the best games I can remember seeing, and they didn't speak about it, but it was a great game. And I see this game being one of those games, being that both quarterbacks move their legs. I like Oregon's defensive line against Alabama's defensive line. And I think that'll actually be one of the difference makers in this game as well. So I'll take Oregon and go with the Big Ten in this one. And we have those Ducks advancing to the next week. And Miss Williams is with those Ducks as well. And she said that it's going to be a great game. And our next game we have coming up, and I'm seeing some of these matchups. I know how we spoke on the SEC Big Ten. It's faring out pretty good so far. Pretty good so far. And this next banger, we have the Georgia Bulldogs going up against the Miami Hurricanes. What's your thoughts on this one, WTP Sports Dudes?
Miami has no defense. None. Georgia will pound them in the ground and beat them by 2 scores or more. And I'm talking about touchdowns. I ain't talking about a touchdown and a field goal, 10 points. They will bust Miami up because Miami has no defense. They're not going to be able to deal with the physicality of a Georgia. And I think that Carson Beck will have a decent game against Miami's defense. And their defense will slow Cam Ward down, I believe, because they got some edge rushers, man, that can put some pressure on you. And we all know Cam Ward been running for his life all season. And Georgia gonna get to him at least 6-7 times, sacking him. So I'm definitely going with the Georgia Bulldogs. And before we go on, y'all also know Robin Williams is a Dallas Cowboys fan.
No,
Home
she
and
just all Texas, huh?
Texas bleeding through.
That's what's happening. I ain't mad at it.
Love it.
She remind me of myself. I'm all Ohio. It's Ohio. Y'all know I'm with it.
Miss Williams, you need to go ahead and tell Jerry Jones you need to do something in that there front office and get your Cowboys rolling in the right direction, like your Longhorns.
Put some respect on her team's name, the Cowgirls.
We appreciate it, Miss Williams, man. We definitely appreciate you watching and tuning in.
Yes, we do.
She said, "Them boys." Yes,
great
indeed.
Morning, great morning. Hey, I'm gonna have to agree with Rob, man. I'm gonna have to agree with him. I see a blowout right here. I see a blowout, and probably it could get ugly. Like way more than 2 touchdowns. Like you can have 2 touchdown lead in the first quarter. You know, and it could be 3 going into halftime.
Yeah.
You know, so I see this as a I really don't even see this as a good playoff game.
I think Georgia, we all agree to this, I think, and how scary Georgia is. I think you put them in a game against Miami, they're going to pin back everything. They coming after Cam Ward. They trying to hit you in the mouth every down. And, you know, I just think about the Texas game when Georgia played. If you get that Georgia from this point on, which we sometimes don't know what we're going to get out of them, but we're going with Georgia over what we know and expect, and at this point what they can be, which is that scary team. So I definitely agree with you guys. Georgia's going to come in. They're going to stump a mud hole in Miami and tell them, y'all got to get up out this playoff because we got major business that we trying to take care of. So I got these Bulldogs advancing as well. And the next game that we have up, and Miss Williams, she said, I asked you to be good talking about them Cowboys. She said y'all better be good. We got you, Miss Williams. We're going to make sure we doing the right thing and keep those Cowboys out of our mouth in a negative way. But sometimes we just can't help us. They give us the great content for us to talk about with it.
You're right. We can't help it at all.
Yeah, we can't.
It's bad.
Our next one we got coming up, I think, is going to be another banger, as we call them. One thing I've been looking at is this team all season, and it is WTP Sports Dudes, Texas Longhorns, and they'll be facing, as well as Miss Williams Longhorns, they'll be facing the Indiana Hoosiers. What's your thoughts on this one, City League? Because I know you're a Big Ten fan, and I know this Big Ten SEC battle is getting into the thick of things as we continue this season.
I am loving this game right here. I'm loving this game right here. I wish I was watching this today instead of Indy and Ohio State. I want to see Indy and Texas.
Oh,
I want to see that matchup right there. I think this is going to be a banger. I think this is going to be a game that may even be talked about for a while. I see explosions. I see fireworks. I just see a beautiful game, almost a SEC type game, Pac-10 type game. I see a lot of scoring in this game, and it coming down to the last second. And the Hoosiers pulling out the upset of the century.
Oh, I'm gonna let you go last, WTP Sports Dudes, because you're in Texas. You down there in Texas.
Yeah.
You enjoying yourself, man.
I'm sorry, Dub. I'm sorry, WT. I'm sorry, WTP. Hey, I'm sorry, bro.
It's November for sure. So, me personally, you know how I feel about Texas, man. These Longhorns, they coming out smoking. This game. They win.
Sorry, Rob.
We'll put them in a semifinal to get to the national championship. I think Texas come out and put a beat down on in a good way, just like they did when Michigan came and played that first game of the season. They went to the big house. So I think they go back and look at some of that film and what they could do against Indiana to get this win. And I'm going to take Texas by 14 against Indiana.
You're trying to gain a new friend.
I'm just taking Texas. What up, Chad? Man. I love Texas. How's it going, Chad? Good to see you in here. And Chad said, hard to call any.
Yeah, no doubt.
Said hard to call any Hoosier game without saying them play OSU first. Without saying they play OSU first. Yes.
Without seeing them play them first. So yeah, hey Chad, I'm rocking with you on that. But I just feel like they are good. I feel like they're good enough, and you know I've seen 10 games, so I feel like they're good enough, and I think that everybody gonna see it today. They're not gonna come out victorious, but oh man, it's pretty tough because we could put a little smackdown on them. Y'all see, I got the all black on today, so it's all business.
Yes, sir. I see business as usual.
Hey, I see Texas got that black on too. I saw you, WTP. I saw you shrug your shoulders with your black Texas gear on. Yeah. Hey, I see you. It's business.
Oh yeah.
For sure, it's business.
So when you think about where we at in this college football playoff, one thing.
Hey, hold up. We ain't get Rob ain't talk about his horns against in this Indiana game.
My bad. Go ahead. Some horns.
You must have already knew what I was gonna say.
Yeah. That was that was level up. That was level up.
Listen, there is no way. Have y'all seen that Texas team and all that talent they got? There is no way Indiana is going to be able to compete with that, man. One of the best defenses in the country. Now we see what Michigan's defense did to Indiana, held them to 20 points and should have beat them. And they were in Indiana. Now they got to come down south and play Texas because this game is going to be in a warm climate. And you got to guard Isaiah Bond, 4.25 speed. Then you got to mess with DeAndre Moore. Then you got to stop them running backs out the backfield. Then you got to stop Quinn Ewers hitting the tight end. Come on, man. There's no way Indiana can deal with this offensive talent that Texas has. They will get ran up out the building. And when they get back to Hoosier land, they're going to say, man, listen, we're going to stay in the Big Ten because them boys down south is just way too fast. Way too fast. We thump Indiana, probably by 20 or more. Thump them. Because they ain't going to score more than 10 points on my Longhorns. Hook.
Hey, don't forget, Indiana will have experience playing a team with all that talent that you just talked about. So they'll be able to have that experience to where they know what to look for once they come and check out them mighty Longhorns. Now, would I be surprised if the Longhorns happen to beat Indiana? Absolutely not. I think Texas has a really, really good team. I think Texas has just as good a shot as anybody else to win this national championship.
I agree.
But I'm still rolling with my B1G.
Now, I didn't really put no matchup for these last four. I mean, for the last two. As we know and we look down and we broke it down, we have two big-time rematches that we can see in these semifinals leading up to the actual championship. What's your thoughts, City League TV, when it comes to seeing your Buckeyes? As a Buckeye, who would you want to play if you were able to advance to the championship? What's your thoughts on which team you would like to play based on what we have here so far this week?
Well, I'm going to tell you like this. I'm going to get it started like this. If these are the four teams that you have as the final four teams, what they're going to do is make sure that you're not having Ohio State play Texas and Georgia playing Oregon. You're not having Ohio State play Oregon and Texas play Georgia, so you can make sure that you get a team from each conference representing in this championship game. No, my friends. They want nothing more than to have two SEC teams playing for the national championship, and they actually would like to see that happen every single year so that they can say, listen here, we've been telling y'all the SEC is the power conference. So they would love to have for two SEC teams to be playing in this national championship game. So therefore, you are going to have SEC versus Big Ten in both of these semifinal games.
What's your thoughts on this one, WTP Sports Dudes?
Well, the way it's set up right now, it would be Oregon versus Ohio State, and it would be Georgia versus Texas based on their positioning. So right now, it would be the opposite of what he was saying. But I do agree with him. If they have a chance to make it be a all SEC national championship, yeah, they would. And the reason why they would is because the SEC is the best conference in college football. Now, it is 1A and 1B, but the SEC is 1A and the Big Ten is 1B.
Oh, it's November. It is November for sure.
How did you say the SEC is, and then I thought you was going to say the SEC is owned by ESPN. How can you leave that part out? Like, that's a major part. We're talking about the worldwide leader in sports who we watch all day, every day, who we may at sometimes just leave it on the channel, even though we're not watching it, and giving them free ratings because there's nothing else on that we want to see. But they own a conference. Like I say, it's the product, baby. got to push that product, and they gonna push that product, and they gonna do what they have to do to make sure that their product is the hottest thing out here. That's why they want to be hotter than Fox. Yeah, they want to be hotter now than FanDuel. Yeah, FanDuel TV now. You got a gambling agency who now owns the network, which was recently called Bally Sports Network, but now it's FanDuel Network. It's always going to be a money game.
Oh, for sure. And the ESPN does own the SEC network. They do, but they also used to
we love you too, Robin.
They also used to own the Longhorn Network. And we all know for about 13 years, the Longhorns were some bums. They ain't no bums no more.
Yeah.
And the Longhorn Network is gone. But I'm telling you right now, the SEC it's a tough conference, man. Week in and week out, you get bangers.
So is the Big Ten. Remember, the SEC hasn't always been a giant. The SEC hasn't always been a giant. They used to be pretty much garbage. You know what I mean? It was like Big 12 and Big 10 and Pac-10. SEC was all the way in the back.
I agree. But since 2009,
you probably just can say just 2000. Since 2000, it's been SEC heavy. But you got to understand too, it's also been set up for SEC heavy. Ohio State, like from a lot of years, Ohio State was one game away from the national championship game when they clearly had the best team in America, but they just lost one of those Big Ten games and they didn't get to play. Whereas, if we don't have those one-loss games taking us out of the national championship picture, I mean, we have multiple national championships, but we're still stuck with these last two in the past 20 years.
So,
go ahead. If they was running an SEC slate, it might have been 2 losses.
Nah, because that's back then. It was a little bit more competitive. You know what I mean? Like back then, like you would have a solid Wisconsin team that you would have to fight through. You would have a solid Michigan State team that you would have to fight through. A Penn State, a Michigan, a Iowa, that you have to fight through. Remember, Notre Dame used to play us a lot, play Big Ten teams a lot, and used to get beat too. So that's why they ain't join our conference.
So for today, I see you guys in all black, dressed, ready to attack. You both got big games today.
Yeah.
Not to mention this 12 o'clock banger here at the Ohio State University in the shoe. What's your thoughts and what do you think is needed to be done in order for your Bucks to come out on top today, City League TV? What's your thoughts on this one?
Just got to put it all together. We just have to put it all together. And I mean, we're up for the challenge. And we have to go into this challenge losing our All-American center.
Yeah.
So it's next man up for Ohio State. We don't make complaints. We don't make complaints when, we lose players, whether it's to the draft, in the portal, or due to injury. We just go next man up, and it's been like that for a lot of years. That's why you just have to say the Ohio State University is the premier football team in America. We have been on top for a long time. You look at everybody else. They've had years why we were still up on top. They were down on the bottom. And it's pretty much any team you want to name. We haven't been there. We had the 1 year when Tressel got fired that Luke Fickell had to come in with a freshman quarterback in Braxton Miller, and we went 6-6 still. We still was at least what Michigan about to be this year. You know what I mean? And that was due to, losing a lot of stuff, but there were no complaints. We just played. We knew we wasn't going to be able to go to any type of bowl games or anything. And, this was just for tattoos. We're not talking about going and standing on somebody else's sideline as they're acting like we one of their coaches. But yeah, but just during that time, we've never been down.
So do you?
When is the last time that Ohio State was under 500, or even 6-6, or 7-5? Like, dude, my son knows nothing about that. My son only knows of this great university that stays on top, and we might lose 2 games in the season.
Could that second one come today, or do you guys win?
Absolutely not. We're putting it together today.
I like
We're putting it together today.
And both of you guys have big games today. So when I think about it, speaking of those big games, you have Kentucky coming in to your hometown WTP Sports Dudes there in Texas. What are your thoughts on this Kentucky team? We know how they've been throughout the season. Is this a game where you guys just step in and trounce? What's your thoughts on that game today there in Texas?
Kentucky has a really good defense. They do. They have a really, really good defense. The problem with Kentucky is they have no offense, none whatsoever. And when you can't score 14 points in a game and you're playing against a team like Texas who can score some points, even though they're going up against your good defense, there's no way that defense is not going to get tired when your offense keeps going 3, 4, 5 plays and out. And then you got to come on the field with a Texas team with all that speed. Eventually, that defense is going to wear out. And I think that's what's going to happen today. Their offense is not going to be able to muster up enough first downs and yardage in order to keep this game honest. Because I know they want to run the football. That's their best bet, is to be able to run and control the clock and limit Texas possession. But I don't think they're going to be able to do that. I think Texas is going to win this game pretty easily. The score might not look like it was a blowout, but it'll be a blowout because Texas will score points in increments where Kentucky might score 10 points at most in this game. I can't see them score more than that unless Texas get them some short fields on turnovers. They really can't drive the length of the field against this Texas defense.
I agree.
Hey, we know Kentucky has been they have a couple of upsets, and they had that close 1-point loss to Georgia. So we know they can play defense. We know that part for sure. Now, I don't think Georgia has the passing attack that Texas does, which kind of makes a difference in this game. But we've seen Kentucky play at a high level. Now we just got to figure out which Kentucky team we're going to get today. And I don't think we're going to get that Kentucky team. I agree. I agree with Rob that they are going to pull this out today. But I would not be surprised if it was a very, very close game, just like that Georgia game. I wouldn't be surprised at all. But we got to remember the Georgia game was at home, so home field makes a difference. It makes a difference.
I think that exactly what you said. I think that's the difference maker in this one for Texas. I think they rally at home, knowing how late in the season they at, and I think this is a game that they don't want to slip up and have a short going in, because they know what it could do to them in a playoff picture, all sorts of other things. With that Ohio State game, I know I picked around and messed with Indiana at our last show. Come on, City League. Your Bucks win today. I'm going to Ohio State. You know I do it for the juice. I'm kind of like Lee Corso, but in reality, man, Ohio State, I think this is a game to where this is a must-win in every way, shape, or form. I think this is the best team outside of Oregon that they'll face up until this point all season. It's going to be a great game. I don't know how to explain that game. I'm just ready to hear the band playing from where I'm at here in the city and just hear all the hoopla throughout the day when it comes to that, as well as that Texas game. I think Texas is going to win big today with Kentucky coming in. And I think they both, just my prediction, I think Ohio State and Texas is on a crash course to possibly face each other in that national championship. I don't know what it is. I keep seeing Colt McCoy. I keep seeing A.J. Hawk, and I believe they played against each other in that game. Not for sure. I can't vividly remember, but I don't know what it is. I just feel that collision course coming. But outside of that, any other thoughts or anything we have on the for the college playoff picture or anything?
Did you get your speak on Texas and Kentucky game?
Yeah, I gave my take. I got Texas.
Okay, that was just a little quick one. Yeah, I don't want if Ohio State, if we do happen to blow Indiana out, I don't want people to take that as Indiana's not good, because we are, if we're clicking on all cylinders, we're a high-powered team, and we're a tough team to play. So, and we're at home. So I don't want people to think that Indiana is just, Indiana's still Indiana. I wouldn't say that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say that. It's just Indiana had to play at Ohio State, with their Big Ten Conference championship on the line.
Yeah.
So, but I'm really looking for Indiana to come and play hard. I really am. I just don't think it's going to be enough. At least I hope it's not going to be enough.
Cool. We see Zaya just jumped in as we was, getting our last few thoughts out. Good.
What up, Zay?
Good to see you in here, Zaya.
What up?
Not to mention, real quick, as we get ready to close out and thinking about this game with Colorado at Kansas today, I think this is probably one of the biggest games that Coach Prime in his early coaching career will have on the slate, when it comes to coaching a game. And I think I have Colorado winning this game at Kansas. I think they win this game. I think this game puts them into the playoff. I think you can't not deny this team, especially how the defense has been playing as of late. And as the year has progressed, they've doubled their win total from a year ago. Some people didn't even have them winning 5 games this year. So kudos to Coach Prime, the staff, everything that you're doing at Colorado. We here at WTP Sports Do, City League TV, at Level Up Sports, Zen Master, Zaya, Parlay Po, we all see what you're doing. And we appreciate how you are doing things there in Boulder. So if Zaya, just to get your thoughts about that OSU game today with Indy, what's your thoughts on that one?
Man, it ain't even that game, dog. I had to hop in real quick just to tell y'all that Colorado is losing today. Yeah, I am a big Prime fan. Hey, but they losing, dog. They definitely losing, bro.
It ain't gonna happen, baby.
Hey,
we on the mission. We here.
I hear you.
We here, Zay. You don't think we here? We here, baby.
Hey, T1, I hear you, dog. I hear you. But Kansas, bro, they finally figuring it out this year how to close them games, dog. Hey, listen, Colorado gonna win that game. Kansas is gonna win that game.
No, you said it right.
You said it.
Nah, Kansas gonna win that game. Hey, and I got the number 1 rushing offense. I got Army going into Notre Dame, beating them boys.
Ooh.
I felt it last night.
Oh boy,
last night, dog.
Zay, what you do last night, Zay?
I had a great time with my baby.
See, that's what it sounds like. It sounds like you had a blast last night, and you woke up this morning, and now you don't know what to do with life. You ready to get back after it? I bet you probably already got back started, didn't you?
Have a good weekend as well, Chad. We appreciate you joining in with us and tuning in this week. And he's getting ready for that big game next week as well. Don't look ahead.
Get loud there, Chad.
Yes, indeed. And Robert
They came in with all the upsets. They came in with fire.
Hey,
Zay came in with a purpose.
I wanted to say something too, though. Hey, my bad, WTP. I love Texas, bro. I love Texas this year.
He's still going.
He's not
Yeah.
about to say what I think he's about to say.
Hey, no, I love Texas this year, dog. Hey, bro, they gotta have today. I think they have to have a 2014 Ohio State performance, bro. Because if they lose to Texas A&M, they are not making the playoffs. I looked at all the schedules, and I looked at it like they don't have enough significant win on their resume. I'm just like, I looked at it like Georgia. They beat Clemson. Then they had that Texas win, and then they have I think they got another win on their resume too. And then Tennessee got the Bama win. So, like, Texas will probably have no win better than neither one of them teams. And then Bama, who did Bama beat? Bama beat South Carolina and Georgia. So, if they don't win against Texas A&M, dog, they need style points today, though. Like, because even if they don't win, they could still possibly get in, but not if they don't got style points today. It's not even possible, dog.
Hey, they did beat number 10 ranked Michigan in Michigan.
Man, Michigan is their best win. Are you talking to me like that?
You gotta think this is
That
Texas.
was a joke. That was
This
when
is
they was ranked number 10, when people thought that they were an actual team.
Hey, even Ole Miss beat Georgia. That's 4 teams I just named.
It's for SEC teams, so that goes to show that that's a tough conference. So they're gonna have to respect them, even with a win next week and a win this week.
I said they have to win next week, because if they don't, all them other teams got better wins on their resume. They will miss the playoffs, dog. I'm telling you, they will
Texas
miss.
Texas don't miss the playoffs even if they lose to Texas A&M, but I don't see it happening.
But why are we fast forwarding today? They still have to play Kentucky today.
Yeah.
That's
So,
why,
and they have to be on it. They have to be on their game.
They have a 2014 game this year of Ohio State. They gotta have style points. They gotta go out there and beat them dudes into the ground, dog. They got to. It gotta be like 52-10.
Well, you tune in to that Kentucky at Texas, and that's going to answer your question for that following week that Texas is already getting themselves prepared for, but not overlooking this week's game with Kentucky.
Yeah, I was just about to ask Robert how he feel. Robert, how you feel about them just bypassing today's game and just jumping right into next week and trying to push y'all out the playoffs? How you feel about this conversation that's going on right now, bro?
You see this brand on my chest?
Yes, sir.
That brand, man. Listen, you don't want no college football playoff when you got a chance to have Texas there. You think they're gonna have Texas there? They done all they need to do. We played the people that's on our schedule. We can't help it if Michigan is down. We can't help it if them other teams is down. We can't help it if Oklahoma's down.
That's right.
We smashed those people the way we were supposed to.
Yeah.
Listen, we did our job. And today is senior day. We're going to pop Kentucky because we're supposed to. It's senior day. We're not losing on senior day. We let our seniors go out with a bang. And then next week, we're going to roll into College Station and bust up little brother. I mean, that's what we do. That's what we do.
I don't think y'all losing today, but I don't know if y'all gonna pop them boys. That's all I don't know.
But with for the
they don't have enough offense.
Yeah.
Texas A&M don't have enough offense for this Texas defense, bro. They don't have enough.
I agree.
Hey, on Thursday night, all y'all picked Arizona State too. Let me mention that too. All y'all picked Arizona State.
They winning.
BYU is not losing to Arizona State today, dog. I don't know why y'all tripping. Like,
that was our upset pick.
Yeah, I know they lost one game and everybody done turned on them.
I ain't turned on them.
That's what they trying to do to Indiana.
I didn't turn, bro. Everybody turned on them.
I ain't turning on them. Just think real quick. BYU I picked them all season. I even picked them in that game. They barely won at the last second. These last couple weeks, BYU haven't been that same team. Everybody been punching them in the mouth too. Sometimes they can't take it.
Yeah.
So this week, Arizona State hit them in their chin, and they hit them with one of them Mike Tyson uppercuts to follow, and they might hit the canvas. Nothing against BYU, great team. But I think at this point in the season, when you're putting all that film out there for teams to see it, teams are taking that film and using it to their advantage. And like City League say, and like WTP Sports dudes, you can't give them too much film to look at because you're going to leave too much out there that teams can see. And if you don't save some, guess what that's going to do? Hurt you in the long run. So I think that's the only thing that's happening with BYU. And then you're in a position that you're not used to being. So a lot of that plays a factor. So Arizona State, I've been watching them since about week 7 when they put them new jerseys on. And they've been coming out with new jerseys just like them Ducks. So you better tune in to that game today, Zay.
Man,
and then
listen,
you're going to learn a few things.
I hear you, big homie. I remember No talking about Scatterboo about to go for $150. You know what I mean? I hear him saying
And
that.
2 tutties.
And
Hey,
2
listen,
tutties.
And 2 tutties.
Yeah, I heard you say that. I remember. I'm telling you, dog. Hey, listen, I understand what y'all saying, dog. And I definitely looked at the common opponents too. They had Kansas, I think. They both played Kansas. What was the score? I think Arizona State beat Kansas by like a touchdown or something, if I'm not mistaken. And then Utah, and they both beat Utah, but BYU only beat them by like a point or something. And I just remember like, man, Colorado. No, not Colorado. Who was it? Who just played Utah? Like, was it Colorado?
Colorado smashed them.
Yeah, Colorado smashed them. So I be like, sometimes when you get to games like this, you got to take the common opponent. You feel me? But I don't think that's the case this time. I think that's just gonna be. It's just gonna be played between the lines, dog. Like people's hearts is just gonna come out today, and everybody got Arizona State. And really, if you look at it on paper, Arizona State look like they should be the favorite in this game, dog. But bro, BYU, it's like a Cinderella story. Like you can't even help where you at sometimes.
Cinderella.
It's just guys playing, dog. And their plan ain't over yet. You know what I mean? Their plan is not over yet, bro. And that's what I feel.
All right. Well, for the right now, I don't know. I just like Arizona State, but outside of that, we gonna see how today go. This is some good games to look at this week. You know, we had UNLV winning last night and a good one against San Jose State. I picked that one. We got a slew of games coming up today. I'm looking forward to this football. I know everyone here is. I know WTP Sports do, Zen Master Zay, City League. I know you all looking forward to it. And game day is actually on, so we going to dibble up out of here. But first off, man, we want to just appreciate and thank everyone that tuned in, came in and commented and joined us as we was doing our Saturday morning college football. And make sure you go like and subscribe every video that you see us that we've dropped and put out. Make sure you go like, follow WTP Sports Dudes on YouTube, as well as City League. He's on Facebook. WTP Sports Dudes on Facebook as well. We had Zen Master Zen here for the FanDuel also, and I'm Level Up Sports 10, your host. Just make sure you watch, like, subscribe, everything we do. We're going to keep bringing it to you. And if it wasn't for you, we wouldn't do this, man. We love what we do, and we have a platform to talk it and bring it to you straight from our mind, thoughts live. And we appreciate you for always tuning in as we go live. So with that being said, just make sure y'all continue to check your notifications. Hit that notification button. Make sure you turn it on, because we just might come on in after that Ohio State-Indiana game today, because there's some big games out there. We're going to possibly want to have some talk after the games today. So with that being said, if anyone else don't have nothing to say, as we always do on our show. We hit y'all with that good one at the end.
We out here at WTP Sports Dudes. We in the building. Hey,
Yes, sir.
great college football going on today. Get to go from
in touch with you though, Marks. I need
Ohio State to Colorado. Let's go.
I need a couple rapid reactions today, dog.
Got you. Just hit me in the text, man. You know I'm gonna be chilling, man. It's college football weekend, NFL weekend. It's no sleep. You know I got the coffee popping. As we always say, man, y'all enjoy this college football weekend, and we'll be back at it. Peace.
Let's go. We out. Wundy out.